everyone, welcome back to my channel. A few days ago I posted a first impressions review of the Tarte Make Believe in Yourself eyeshadow palette and the makeup brush set that they just released. If you haven't seen it yet, I'll go ahead and post the link up here so that you can go in and take a look at it and see what my first impressions were before continuing with this video. So anyway, this is a follow-up to that video. So I have been using the Tarte Make Believe in Yourself eyeshadow palette as my primary eyeshadow palette for the past 5 or so days. If you aren't familiar with it, this is the Tarte Summer Collection that they just released a couple weeks ago. It's filled with unicorn-inspired shades that are metallic, I guess you would say, iridescent. Some of them have a color shift, and it has a highlight in the middle. So I have made sure to use as many of these as I can in the past few days, as well as the highlighter. I have used every single shade except for Dream, which is this teal color right here. But every single color I have used. So just to sort of recap, this palette is $40 and it comes with 10 shades and that one highlight. The palette is actually a nice hard plastic, super durable, small and compact, so you could travel with it quite nicely. 9 of those shades are actually iridescent. I think I said all of them were metallic, iridescent kind of shades. 9 of them are. It does come with one matte, which is Myth. Okay, so my thoughts on this. You cannot do a full eye look with this palette, even though they included that one matte as a transition shade. For me, that matte color is super chalky, lots of fallout, and it just kind of blends into my skin and I never see it. So, I mean, maybe it'd make a good base if you wanted to blend things out, but I find that as a transition color, it doesn't work all that well. Also, I like to take colors straight up to my eyebrow. I usually will take kind of a nude, like that color Myth, halfway up, and then I'll take a lighter shade or a white and do right under my eyebrow as kind of a highlight. The only thing I'm able to do that with in here is the highlight in the middle. Now, I will tell you, I love this highlighter. I'm wearing it now. I have it under my eye. I have it under the eyebrow, so you can sort of play with it and make it work in a way. However, doing any sort of transition, not going to work. So I actually paired it with my Tartist Pro palette just to give me a full eye look. Now, if you're kind of wanting to do the one shadow look, then, I mean, 1 or 2 shadow look, I guess technically, then this would work fine. You could use Myth in the crease and pull it up. You could use any one of these iridescents on the lid and be fine, and then move on. No big deal. So if that's sort of what you're into, then yeah, this is a great buy. If you prefer a full eye look with multiple shades, this may not work for you unless you want just a fun selection of base shades to put on your eyeshadow or to put on your eyelid. I would give it like a 6 out of 10 just based on selection and being able to use it on for a full eye look. Now, the shadows themselves are really super pigmented. It doesn't take much to get a great color out of it. Here's the one I didn't use. And if you actually go in with the brush lightly, you'll still get a nice color, but you won't pick up as much of that shimmer. But as you can layer it a couple of times or just dig in really heavy with your brush and get a nice thick layer of this eyeshadow. There are a couple drawbacks on it. I find that if you don't use a primer, you do get some fallout throughout the day, especially on the, shade is it here, the Trance and Marvel, which is the green and kind of like the brownish color. I found that they tend to, some of the glitter, which they don't look glittery, but I guess it's glitter. Some of the glitter, shine, whatever, falls down throughout the day. Also, without a primer, they will wear away in the crease. So I definitely think that a primer is necessary for these. That also helps the color to go on a little smoother. What I'm wearing today is I actually have Trance on the lid, and then I have Fairy, this purple color. I have that, I dabbed that right on the edge of my lid and then brought it up into the crease a little bit. And then I had to pair it with, oh gosh, I paired it with a lot of this. We have, oh goodness, what did I use? I used Classic and Vintage. I used Fierce. I used Pro Fresh and I used, what else did I use? And I used Edgy. So I used all those colors to build an entire eye look out of this. So it does require a little more work if you don't want that one shade look, but I really like it. It's pigmented, the colors are nice and smooth. I didn't find any of them to be too chunky. The one color I didn't like was Myth, which is that, goodness, the matte shade right there. I honestly would have been happier had they taken that color and turned it into another one of these metallic colors and just had it all iridescent, because it's kind of useless in there. You can't do much with it. So that's kind of my final thoughts on this palette. Is it worth buying? You know, if you're not going to use it, if you're definitely not going to use these type of shades and you don't like to use metallics very often, then don't buy it. It's not worth it in that sense. But if you like to have fun, play with your makeup, and you change your look up pretty often, then sure, go for it. Maybe wait until you can get get it on sale or something, because I still think $40 is a bit pricey for this particular palette. However, if they sell that highlighter by itself ever, it is so worth it. It's beautiful. It has kind of this goldish tone to it that kind of color shifts into a little bit of a pink. I absolutely love that highlighter. And then the other thing I bought from that collection was the Tarte Make Believe in Yourself unicorn brushes, wand brushes, whatever they call them. They're obviously inspired by unicorns. In my last video, I compared them to the unicorn lashes, and overall I found that these were just better based off of first impression, feel, all that sort of thing. They just feel softer, denser, and better. I've also been using these exclusively all week just to make sure that I can give you a full honest review on how I feel about them in the end. There is one I didn't use. I will be completely honest. I did not use the contour brush. I had no reason to it. I don't really contour, but I just didn't find a use for it. So there's 1 out of 5 gone. So now I have 4 out of 5, which these are $39. So if there's one brush you're not going to use, is it really worth it? Probably not. But I still like these better than unicorn lashes. If you are going to buy any set of unicorn brushes, I would say go for these if you can. You don't get as many, but they are just better quality. I have been using the liquid brush here. I use the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea foundation, and this does a decent job on it. You get nice coverage. It picks up the foundation quite nicely, and you can stipple around where you want it to, but I just feel like a beauty blender works better for that particular foundation. However, with the denseness of these bristles, I did not need to pack the foundation in there to get it to cover well like I did on my unicorn lashes brush. So this was actually a very nice brush, and on a different kind of foundation I think it would work better. The 2 eyeshadow brushes, this one I have been using with the palette here. It picks up the eyeshadow just beautifully. It picks up a nice amount of color. There's not a lot of fallout. It blends well. It smudges well. Like, this brush is really, really nice, and I think a lot of it has to do with the denseness of the bristles and then the springs. So this is definitely a brush that I love. And then we have the blender brush, this nice fluffy brush. I am finding that as I'm using it, if you compare this to the video I recorded, the bristles were closer together, and as I've been using this, you can see that they're starting to just fan out. They're starting to lose, oh, powder just came up. They're starting to lose their density, I guess. They just, I don't know, it's starting to, it feels like it's starting to fall apart a little bit. So I'm actually kind of disappointed in this brush. It did so well the first couple of days, but then after that, I don't know, I guess maybe it can't handle my heavy usage of this kind of brush, but it's not blending as well as it was whenever I first started using it, and I definitely think it's because the bristles are starting to fray apart. Maybe I need to clean it and try it out, because I'm not gonna lie, I haven't cleaned these in a couple days. Maybe if I clean it, they'll go back to, I don't know, but I'm kind of not too happy about this brush. And then the last brush is this powder brush. Now, I don't use a powder very often. I usually just leave the Rainforest of the Sea on my face without setting it with powder. It really doesn't need it. It dries down on its own, and it has a nice dewy finish, which I think is lovely. I have a couple of times went and powdered over that just to use this brush, but I actually find what I'm using this for more is the highlight. This isn't usually what I use for a highlighter. Now, a lot of people use a fan brush. I actually really like using this small little brush so I can get just a nice line of highlight in there. But the way this is shaped, and it comes up into this little small dome, you can get into this palette really well, and you can just dab right in the middle of that, and it picks up just the perfect amount of highlight, and then you can just brush it on as much as you need to. And then I like to take it and then I'll go over certain areas of my face, and I just feel like this gives you a very nice what's the word I'm looking for? A nice, natural. I can't believe I couldn't think of that word. This gives you a nice natural highlight if you use it for that. If you use it for just powder, it does give you a great finish as well, but I'm using this one exclusively for the highlight lately, and I probably will keep doing it because I really, really like it. So anyway, my final thoughts on the brushes. We have one I will never use, but I do know a lot of people have their contour. So if you do contour, I think this will be a good brush. It's nice and dense and soft, which is ideal, I'm sure, for what you're doing. So we really only have 1 out of the 5 that actually kind of failed the longevity test. I mean, within a week, it's already losing its blendability. It's losing its use. That's what I should say. So we have 1 gone. So I mean, 1 out of 5, not so bad. Again, they are $39, so you'll just have to weigh it that way. But if you are deciding to go towards any kind of unicorn type brush, I still think these are better. Even with one kind of being a dud, they're still better than unicorn lashes based on the sheer fact that the bristles are better made, denser, and just softer and higher quality. You may not get as many as unicorn lashes, and you may get one type, which perhaps this one's just, you know, maybe everybody else's is fine and I just got a bad one. I don't know. But honestly, I still like them better than unicorn lashes. So, yeah, those are my final thoughts on these. Let me know down in the comments if you've tried them, if you've had any sort of issues with this little guy falling apart, or if you've come up with some really awesome looks with the palette. I'd love to see it. I'd love to try it. So if you have any questions for me as well, put them down in the comments. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and tune in next week as I try out the Too Faced Natural Love palette and highlighter. I'm going to do another first impressions video on that, and then follow up a few days later to have as I exclusively use that palette and highlighter for the week. So thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next time. Bye!